We are live.
Well, folks, good morning. Welcome to April 9th, 2025. And if you're here in Canada and you're here in Ottawa, it's minus 12. Snow might be on the horizon. If you happen to be in Costa Rica, it's 2 hours earlier, but it's 36 degrees.
I
So
didn't get the
places to
memo to go to Costa Rica to do the
that's
meeting.
that's right. That's right. Party Palace. That's the ticket. And they're entering in a 2 week holiday. So that's a bonus round. Well, folks, you
No.
know what? Good morning. So we're at the top of April. And so what you should be doing as a Phoenix member is sending your stats over to Tony. And the reason behind that, we can build up the profile of how business has been, right? Whether you've used accounting services, you got pure trim products, you sold a house, bought a house, maybe even a furnace got massaged, or you got your wheel set up with Redmond, or maybe Sam is about to do your tires, but you're waiting because you know that evil snow just won't stop. It's not evil, but when you're on the wrong set of tires, it is. And then Brenda Lee's out there also helping people, getting their stuff together and providing a service. Or Tony's going to tune you up, and or Jody's going to stretch you around. So I've covered most of the folks that are in the, or a cat helps you in the social media piece. So I've covered most of the folks that are here. And if any of that piqued your interest, you know what? I'm going to share a website where you can get some more information about these folks because they all have some really great offers. Right. Member of the week is Susan Ebbs. Susan's e-card's right there, and there's a little story about Susan. Now, to get to this site, it's pbex.ca. If you look up here, that's super simple to type in. Short, easy strokes. All right. So Susan sells Maluka products. So if you want to know more about that or reach out to her to get the products, that's how it works. Now, how do you get into this group here? Just even to visit. Well, you click on this red button right here that says Wednesday morning, 8 to 9 Eastern Standard Time. Just click her. And if Mondays are better, well, that's the Bell's Corners group. And if Thursdays are better, that's the South End group. We're all good in these three zones. May 6th, 7 p.m. After hours group meeting. That's where we end up having kind of an accountability hour, and that's with Penny Lee hosting it. And it's meant to help you stay focused on either your personal goals or your business goals, right? And it's super easy to get into. East Trade Winds, we meet every Tuesday, 8 to 9 Eastern Standard Time, free to come in. And it's got a fairly wide reach right across Canada. And we have some folks from the US and overseas visiting us. Friday afternoons, tuning in with Tony, you're just getting a free meditation class. Sometimes you just need a break from the week. That's the place to get it. Penny Lee, so it's got a dance for movement, movement is medicine classes, NEA classes, and that's about moving your body around to keep your body healthy, kind of, keeping the joints. So if you're in a seated position most of the day, this is a really good place to kind of get things sorted out. Oh, look at that. There's a potluck, April 11th. So that's this week at 6:30 p.m. with Penny Lee.
Bring your
Just
pot.
click. Well, pot of food, yes.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Yeah. South End Group is meeting on May 29th, and that's a Thursday, 7:30 a.m. There is no Zoom on that particular session. Now, I mentioned a whole bunch of people earlier. Who's here right now? QR directory. Just click there, and that'll give you a list of everybody that's inside the Phoenix network, and if you need their services. And one of the other things that's kind of handy about the folks here, it's a working relationship. It's a continuous ongoing. So we know each other. We actually have what we call business activity meetings, BAMs. And the goal behind that is to share information, understand what new services are in place, what new products are available, etc. And we have these BAMs, these business activity meetings, to help grow the network, which then results in business. So year to date business, we're at $55,445, almost on the nose there. And when we do our stats, it'll get bigger. That's since January 21 or January 1st, 2025. Think about it, folks. That is just business between members, not business between members and, oh, by the way, this person might need your services. All right. Over $4.8 million worth of business since 2016. The QR code that's over my shoulder, the QR code that's the directory over here, we've had over 1,700 hits, people using the e-card. And why is the e-card handy? Because if you're a member of Phoenix, you get that as part of your membership. It's a quick, easy way to make it frictionless to connect with you. Whether your preferred method is text, email, phone. I don't know if we do smoke signal or any of those other suboptimal methods of communication. However, that said, if we could, we would, right? But it's also content information therein. It's sort of like little video snippets. If you have to explain your story. I'm going, and the Canada Food Cupboard is the charity of choice, and there's a golf tournament coming up. I'll touch on that a little bit later on. And you know what, Tony? I think I'm going to stop sharing and find out who is going to be giving us our educational minute this morning.
Random I will do that if that's okay.
You will do that? Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Bernie. I was reading a survey the other day, and it said that 20% of all top performers produce 80% of the revenue and the performance that happens. And there was one main reason why they got that. There was several of them, but the top one was that even though we all get 24 hours, no matter what age you are, no matter what ethnic group, no matter what happens, we all get the same time, get the same 24 hours. I mean, there is a leap year where we get an extra half an hour or whatever when they work it out, but does anybody perform any better on that year as opposed to any other year? So when we all get the same time, the top performers, what they did was they just ended up using their time better. Simple as that. They ended up using their time. They didn't procrastinate. When something came in their mind, they just did it. I used one example where when it comes to time, I used to be in the moving business, and we used to bring in tools, all kinds of tools, everything from tape dispensers, screwdrivers to take off doors. We used to have hammers. The different things to be able to do the things we need to do so that we could move the furniture easier. We had shrink wrap, blankets, all that kind of stuff. And inevitably, if we didn't just act fast and put things at the doorway, we would end up leaving it at the house, and we'd have to turn around the 5-ton truck and go back to get it. Most times it was my tools, my ratchet set, my tools, and they weren't cheap. Because when you're using something a lot, just like Matt says, you got to go quality or there's no reason to do it, He does that with AirZone and stuff. But when you are looking at your time, what are you using your time for? And usually you get flashbacks. Oh, before I go, I do need to take an umbrella today, let's say. And then you don't act fast on it, or there's a document that you need. Recently, I had to take my mom to a passport office. So as soon as it hit my head, hours before I left, I took the form and put it at my doorway so I'd step on it on the way out. Oh, yes, I had to take this too. So you get these little snippets, but you got to act quickly. And it's those performers that act fast, don't procrastinate, that ends up having the best use of their time, which inevitably will produce more results in everything else. The other reason was they moved fast. They didn't, not only did they not procrastinate, they just did it right away and they get it done. I always have the joke that, by the time, I've always wanted to open up a pizzeria, call it Psychic Pizza. So when people call, hi, your order's ready, they wouldn't even have to order. It'd be ready for them, and it's that kind of speed that people love. People love it. When I'm doing a session with a client, they book it. I have their email, and after the session, I will create an email, and it'll be because in many of the sessions that I do, it takes about 2 days for the effects to go through and everything else. And so I tell them I'm going to give you a call or connect to you in some way a couple of days from now. And so what I do is as soon as they leave, while it's fresh in my head, I'll construct that email that I'm going to send 2 days later. So I'll say, hey, it's been 2 days. How are you doing? How'd you sleep? Anything come up? Just a series of things like checklist that, is applicable to my business. And so let me know, no hurry, just wanting to see how things are. And then on Outlook, I can send that email and it will automatically send in 2 days. So I'll press send later and then say, okay, yeah, if today is Monday, I'm going to be Wednesday at 8 a.m., I'm going to send this email. So I can program the time, program the day, and it's sent. And inevitably, when Wednesday comes, like it's a new day, I've totally forgotten everything from the previous day. But this email then goes out and it just shows that, oh, wow, he did connect to me in 2 days. So, in other words, when you do those things, it's really impressive to clients. You know why? Because very few people do it. Very few people do it. People are just used to inferior service, so they don't bother. They complain all the time. There was one person that had emailed me, and I couldn't get back to them right away. I was in session, and it was about an hour later, and he says, "What took you?" It was an hour ago. I just got your email. I was in session. Some people are just way over. But the thing is, when you act quickly, then it really does overall impress people. Have as fast tempo. So your attitude is work hard and play harder. Work hard, play harder. And it's everything is right away. As soon as something comes to you, you got to act right away because in so many ways, at least this is what's happening to me. If I know I'm going somewhere and I got to take a number of things, I'll make a list and I'll put everything smash it by the doorway sort of thing. It's all in the corner. And as I'm leaving, oh yeah, I got to take this stuff too. And it just makes my day, my life a lot easier because inevitably I'll be driving la-di-da, going to Penny Lee's potluck, and I realize, aha, okay, I forgot my dish. I forgot my pot. So, in other words, have it where it's something comes up and you do things right away. No procrastination. It's when we procrastinate that makes things so much harder and it takes more time because you still got to get it done, but now it's done later, which means something that is applicable that has to be done right away isn't getting done because you're already working on something late, which is now urgent. All right? So have a sense of urgency, do it now, feel better. And one last thing was this happened actually yesterday. I'm working on my podcast, just getting it done for this morning, 8 a.m. is a new podcast coming out. And halfway done there, I'm trying to get it all finished. It occurred to me that I had to list this new product. I haven't had a chance because I've been so busy. And it just occurred to me, it just came to me. List the product, put it on your site. And I just kept putting it off. And I said, okay. So I stopped while it was still fresh in my head, listed the product, put it on there, went back to my podcast. An hour later, I sold 2 units. I says, oh man, okay, this does work. So in other words, when something comes to you, just do it right away. Get it done, get it out of the way, because there's a reason why it came to you. In my way, I guess the energy of the product says, hey, list me, and then you might be able to sell something. And yeah, it worked. So make things urgent. Back to you, Bernie.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. The LinkedIn Live post, the link for the feed is in the chat. And, put your contact details into the space. Now we're going to do a round robin of, hey, what's up in your day and what BAMs or referrals have come up? So business activity meetings. And I'm going to start off with Mr. Sam Sturos and then go to Susan McGarry. Sam, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bernie. Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday morning. There's my contact information in the chat. Sam Stirs, connectedcars.ca. Dash cameras are my thing. Put them in the vehicle. It's nice and neat. No wires hanging down right to the fuse panel of the car. Besides that, I do minor repairs, oil changes, brake jobs. And if you recall, I was warning everyone not to change their tires over to their summer tires. And the weather cooperated with me. So if you took my advice, and the 3 of my customers did, I told them not yet. That's exactly why we had that winter blast there just a couple days ago. So besides that, let's see, I did some repairs on a vehicle. You go drive your vehicle and you go over a bump and you hear this rattling sound every time you go over a bump. It's probably caused by these things. They're called stabilizer links, stabilizer bar links or sway bar links. They should be nice and tight, like on this side. On this side, this one was wobbly. They get old and they get bashed around and they start to wobble because the lubrication is gone out of them. And if you hear that noise, well, it's not a really expensive thing to get done, but it needs to get done because you're going to hear all that noise every time you go over a bump, a pothole, manhole cover, whatever. And that's kind of work that I do as well. Let's see there. BAMS wise. Well, Susan McGarry helped me, and our friend Dave Beliveau suggested cutting back on sugar. And my wife and I went on a diet. First time in my life, I think I went on a diet. With last week was cut back on sugar. I noticed how much sugar is in everything that we eat. Unfortunately, looking at labels, it's kind of depressing how much sugar is in things, even tomato sauce. And well, the results came in yesterday. In a week that we cut back on sugar, and I lost 3 pounds, and my wife lost 4 pounds. So hey, it worked for me, and I saw no other side effects, no shaking and things like that Dave said I might get. That didn't happen. So that's it for me, Sam Stewart, ConnectedCars.ca. Today's mobile electronics without the cost of the vehicle, and a heck of a lot more.
That sounds almost like a rock and roll song, Shake, Rock and Roll. And East Wentz, Phoenix, if you have an event that's coming up, let us know. I'll pipe it into the Phoenix site. If you have an event, or a public event that's happening that might make sense for all of us to be aware of, again, share the information. And go to Susan McGarry, and then we will go to Matt next. So, Susan, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Bernie. That's great. Congratulations, Sam. That's super exciting to hear. And the only withdrawal I had from sugar was driving to Tim Hortons and grabbing a coffee and wanting that donut, because it's just a habit, right? Oh, I usually get a coffee and I get a donut. No one's looking. I can sneak this in. But I, like Sam, have just made a choice, and I'm trying to assist other people to really try to read your labels and cut out sugar. Even if you don't use the Mediterranean products, look at the Mediterranean diet and be more due diligent when it comes to making food choices for longevity. And what comes to mind is a couple that I've helped, Tracy and Mark, in 2018. They came by my booth at Showcase in Petawawa. And poor Mark, he was morbidly overweight. I think he was 280. And to be able to see them visit me in Renfrew, and both of them have kept the weight off. He's now a new grandfather. They're showing pictures on Facebook, driving in their ATV side by side, having fun with their grandkid. That's my job. That's my passion. That's what I want to do. I want to help people age gracefully. We're all going to age. That's inevitable, but it's how we age. So I look at Wendy out in Costa Rica. It's fabulous to be able to just hop on a plane and go with your friends. I mean, that's what we all deserve. And it's not that Wendy's old. It's just that some people in our age group can't do it because of choices they've made. So that's where I come in. I don't have any BAMs to report, but I hope to change that up for next week. Thanks very much. Back to you, Bernie.
Susan, thank you so much. And now East Wentz. If you want to come on in, that is the Zoom link to register and show up, and you can use that same link continuously. Just add it to your calendar or just hit the registration number. Mr. Matt Ledard, and then we will swing over to Wendy. Matt, go ahead, sir.
Good morning, everybody. Matthew Ledard here from Arizona HVAC Services. As most of you all know, I help people increase their comfort levels in their home. That either being humidity levels, temperatures, air quality in the home. I can help you with all that kind of stuff. We are a full service HVAC company, do anything with furnaces, air conditioning, heat pumps, water heaters, fireplaces, Mr. Bernie, and much, much more. Right now, we've got some good spring promotions going on. We've got we bought 2 C cans of air conditioners at some really highly discounted prices to be very competitive out there. So if you know anybody that's in the market for a new AC or a heat pump, I've got lots in stock and some availability right now. We're looking at about a week and a half to 2 weeks out for booking. Looking outside, it doesn't look like we should be talking too much about air conditioning right now. There's plenty of cool air out there, but it's coming, people, and you're going to want it sooner than later. And you don't want to be caught on the hottest day of the year with no air conditioning and asking me to come out and take care of you, because I'll be booked out 4 to 6 weeks, and just want to make sure you're not missing the boat and being stuck having to go with somebody else for a product you don't want and paying too much for it. So Matthew Ladard, Arizona HVAC Services, quality you can trust, guaranteed. As
Matt,
for BAMS,
sorry, go ahead.
didn't have anything last week, but a couple weeks ago, Wendy and I met, and I didn't mention that in the last time I was in here, so I'm not sure if that was noted. Wendy had already registered that, but also sold I think it was a new furnace to one of Wendy's clients as well that she referred me to. So I will send you the numbers for that a little bit later, Tony. Thanks so much, everybody.
Matt, thank you so much. Bicycle repair technician. You know, 'tis the season. Maybe not quite yet, but it's getting there. So bikes will be coming out, and we are going to be in the need of a tech to take care of the bipedal devices that are out there in our houses. And get a hold of Penny Lee if you come across a business that can provide that service. Wendy, and then we will go to Redmond. Wendy, over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Well, Matt, luckily my air conditioner is working here, so I don't need to fly you down to service anything or to look at getting a new one. So all is well here. Yeah, so I'm down in Costa Rica right now. I help people acquire and dispose of property. And while I'm down here, I have my Royal Bank, my RBC mortgage specialist with me in my house, and she has also been working hard. She's going to be giving me a new referral while I'm down here. So it's business as usual. I've also got my assistant with me and we are working. So it's great to be working in another climate and also to be able to share with other people what it's like to actually have a working holiday. We have a good fiber optic internet down here. So if you can reach out and service your clients via Zoom or a phone call or WhatsApp or whatever you choose, this might be a place where you can sort of decompress, get away from the snow if there's still snow where you are, and still be able to service your clients. Now, what I'm finding is that I'm going to be submitting an offer for a client later today. I've sent them all the paperwork. So it's every time I book a time to get away that I get super busy. So I have to continue to book my vacations. And I think for all of you, if you're able to do that as well, it's a great way to decompress, to change your environment, and also to refocus. So no BAMs to report, but as Matt had mentioned, one of my clients bought a furnace, and I have another client who will be closing shortly, and Matt will be helping them with a new air conditioner. Right? So I hope that they qualify for that big load that you just ordered in. Hopefully they'll order one of those so they can get a good deal as well. Everyone's looking for a good deal. So if you know of anyone that's looking for someone who can help them get a good deal, please reach out to me. Thank you.
Wendy, thank you so much. Next item is Ad Hive, and just to remind you that they also have at Bistro, which is they have a culinary expert chef on the premises. So they do takeout and catering. And geez, where were we going next? I think it was Redmond, if I'm not mistaken. And then we will bounce over to Jody. Redmond, over to you, sir.
Well, thanks, Bernie. Hi, everyone. I'm Ruben O'Brien with Odette Regamba Lawyers Professional Corporation. As you know, our firm practices in a variety of areas of law. And it's Odette Regamba, Edward Rivas, myself, 3 lawyers in the group, and Shawnette Simon, our law clerk. Just to mention that Odette and Shawnette have worked together as well for at least 13 years. So they have a really good synergy and understanding of sharing tasks and getting the work done. So it's been a real good experience for me as long as I've been with this particular firm to see about the inner workings here compared to a bigger firm and other organizations as well. So I focus on family law and wills and estates. And so that includes drafting wills, powers of attorney, and assisting on any family law matter if it's amicable or unfortunately needing to go through court. And I mentioned a few days ago at the Monday Zoom here just about being able to, with Odette Regamba's office, recently go to this family law conference. It's the annual Institute of Family Law. And so it's definitely going into where it was. It was cold, and that's just the way it is. It's not like it was a bit of a vacation for me, but still a bit of a colder climate, obviously. But to meet the lawyers in the Ottawa region and the surrounding region was really good, very beneficial to help with relationship building. So that, as I was mentioning a few days ago, it helps with being cost effective for your clients because the relationships with the other lawyers is really important to be able to just try to reach a settlement on when it's possible. And as I mentioned, it's always more cost effective to the extent that you can reach a settlement on a family law matter. So that conference is very useful, and it's something that the firm I'm part of values, and it's part of providing good service in different areas of law. If you can try to be settlement oriented where possible. So Odette Regamba Lawyers Professional Odette Regamba Lawyers Professional Corporation. Protecting your rights is our priority, and I have a BAM with Carl Richards and a BAM with Eric pretty soon. As well, Brenda Lee's. I was just curious about where to deliver clothing for clothes to give away to your organization. So, yeah, I can touch base offline about that. Thanks.
Redmond, thank you so much. As promised, the Canada Food Cupboard and the golf tournament. It's September 4th afternoon, 9-hole game. It'll be a blast. It'll be under $100 and more details to follow. And Jody, over to you, and then Eric.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, like everybody is noticing, it is cold out there and we all want to be where Wendy is. But one way that you can heat things up is a workout if you are here. And I focus on women's health. Everything is online. I do personal sessions. I do group sessions, everything from 10-minute workouts to 1-hour workouts. And exercise is not always it's not always about just how your body moves. Sometimes we got to work on our mental health as well, and they go hand in hand. And so working on our mindset and our bodies is something that I focus on. And I think that's it. Yeah. So if you know anybody who has tried every workout under the planet and can't find something that they can stick to, I would appreciate the referral, because often it's about the mindset of how they feel and do with exercise, not more than any physical abilities, but it goes hand in hand. So yeah, Jody, the personal trainer of the group, and I can add my details into the chat in a few seconds.
Jody, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Quick thing coming up on the horizon. Mr. Carl Richards from Podcast Solutions Made Simple has an event coming up on April, I believe it's April 23rd, which is a Wednesday, between 11 and 1 Eastern. And it's a collab. It's 47 plus tax. And yeah, if you want to take a dab at understanding the podcasting space, Mr. Eric Sonego, over to you, sir, and then Tony. Go ahead, Eric.
Thank you, Bernie. Eric Sonego of the accounting firm Eric Sonego Professional Group, soon to be merged with a national firm, so we'll be called something else. We're accountants and management consultants located at 108 Equestrian Drive in Canada. We do taxes for individuals, and for businesses we do year ends and corporate taxes and that kind of stuff. But this year, I have a qualms with the government, because nobody told us that they changed the reporting for rental income. So now when I have a client who has a property that is rented, I have to divide the expenses between personal and rental for every expense that there is on the form. It takes 3 times longer to do a tax return of rental income than it did last year.
Oh.
3 times longer. And of course, I'm not doing it until I get an approval from the client, because I'm not going to spend 6 hours doing rental income and then say you owe me $700, right? So I have to get the okay from the client. Some clients don't believe it, so they have to come into my office. I have to open my tax program and show them how it works. Anyways, if you have rental income, it's a lot more expensive, and it takes a long time to report it now to CRA, especially if you're not incorporated. If you have rental income by yourself, or you rent half your house. If you rent half your house, horror story. So for that horror story, come and talk to us. 613-254-7310.
Eric, it's always a good morning to have a chat and hear the good news, what's happening behind the fences. Incorporation is kind of a saving grace. So if you want to present and you need to rent Mike's services and without a tax liability attached to it, but Mike can represent you here on the Phoenix group, reach out to him. And he'd be more than glad. The calendars line up. All his contact details are in the chat. Tony, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bernie. Love that name, Eric, that you're going to be changing your name to something else. I love that name. That way you can say, hey, we're something else. That's a great name, accounting firm. We should book a fishing trip or something and talk business, and maybe that'll get us out on the water, yes. Matt? And we'll bring Redmond and Jody with us, Just a quick announcement. Sam, I just want you to know we haven't forgotten about you. I still got 2 of your gift cards that you brought in some visitors a while back, so I've got 2 reserved. I've got 1 reserved for Terry. She brought in a visitor. So we're running a little bit behind, but now I have extra, so at the meeting I'll be able to do that right away. So we'll be able to really do that. Brenda Lee, post your contact information in the chat as well. There's a couple of people that want to drop something off. I am going to Penny Lee's potluck on Friday, so if anybody wants to drop off clothes at my house, I'll take that all to Penny Lee, because Penny Lee and Brenda Lee are very close. Oh, Brenda Lee, Penny Lee is in there somewhere. I can take that in for you then, okay? What else was it? So that's the main announcements there. We are still looking for a general contractor, by the way, as a rule. So if you know somebody that, and they're hard to find, a good contractor, as a rule of thumb, if they can start tomorrow, don't use them, sort of thing. And so we got to get somebody reputable. There's a reason why they're not busy. So anyway, Tony Jennis from Hire Yourself. I'm the spirit guy of the group. I have many things that I do, readings, corporate sort of restructuring. If you're looking at I had one the other day that was about to hire a very expensive employee in their company, and they went through all of the thing. Everything seemed good. And they sort of called me. Sometimes I have a really great relationship with many of my clients, and they said, what do you think? And I was getting not the best. There's a guy 4th down your list is probably going to be better. And so he went down the list. He says, gee, that's the least amount of per one that I didn't think. He says, I know, but this guy will come early, leave late, and he's sort of a diamond in the rough. So it's those kind of things that I can pick out. That is kind of cool. Also, just a quick, I have Eric Sonego, ongoing business with you, ongoing business with Kat. Dwight ordered some patties from him. Had a BAM with Penny Lee as well. Brenda Lee had a BAM with her last week, so thank you very much, Brenda Lee, for that. And I signed up for Carl's course, and he get a little help with my podcast and that kind of thing. Just a quick thing regarding, I have a class coming up on April the 27th. It is a self-tuning class. It's for everyone. I have a space for about 4, maybe 5 people personally in my studio, and we're also going to be on Zoom. So we're going to do it simultaneously. And this is so that you can keep your vibration high instead of coming in for a tuning every couple of weeks. And it's $150. You can do this, and it's a lifetime. You buy the forks once, and you'll end up giving it to your kids, and then their kids, and so on. It doesn't change. So it just keeps that vibration high. Also, the crystal of the week is crystal bracelet, and this stone is called kunzite. Wonderful stone for breakups. This is a stone that is constantly putting self-love within you, realizing that, yes, it wasn't great that whatever relationship didn't work out or something, but this stone sort of puts that love back in, that the whole idea is you aren't missing the person. You miss yourself from what that person brought out in you. And that's what that stone sort of does in a long and a short of a way. So in other words, that's what you want to be in love. You want to have a happy relationship. It's not the person that you're missing. It's you in that energy. That's what that stone does. So it's a marvelous energy for breakups, divorces, just things that will have you move on. And then that brings that whole energy so that you can find someone else that's wonderful. And a lot of times it works out. So the ones that you don't, expect, they're wonderful and wonder where they were their whole life. So Tony Jennis from Higher Self, we are here to raise your spirits. Back to you, Bernie.
Hey, thank you. So next item up is, it is the spring cleanup session time. And if you have something that's in the waste removal, like, taking heaps and gobs of everything, whether you're doing a reno project or, just don't need stuff and you can't donate it to anybody. So get a hold of Penny Lee and share that information. For myself, Creative Insight, Business Concierge, connect with people, Knack for Business podcast, talk to people about their origin story. We're almost at the 300 mark on podcasts being pushed out the door. Property Wizard podcast. Eric, you should have another chat with Mr. Fred Crouch, because, new stuff like that says, oh, by the way, look at that. That ain't the way it used to be. It's always good to share, updates like that. Yes. East Trade Winds, there's a YouTube channel that you can find some information on from past speakers. And actually, speaking of past speakers, you'll soon find Steve Breckenmeyer. He'll be on there. He's one of the presenters from this week. And Jacqueline also attended the session. So that's kind of a double bam in that particular space. And what else to remind you of before we go to our main act? LinkedIn. Use LinkedIn to promote the Phoenix Business Exchange Incorporated link. Invite people to it. If you're not part of it, get into that space, follow it, and then invite five counterparts to come in. It just helps grow the network. Brenda Lee, the floor is yours. Go for it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for supporting this endeavor, Earth Angel Outreach, and also for supporting any charities nowadays. There's seems like there's quite a need for helping others out. So I still have items to pick up, I know, and things coming in, but Earth Angel Outreach has been so busy. It's quite overwhelming. It's I feel that it's not a time management thing. It's just, oh my goodness, we're soaring so quickly. And Earth Angel Outreach was conceived as a charity to source out donations to give to individuals that do individual outreach to the homeless, along with organizations that do outreach for the homeless. We, Earth Angel Outreach, want to give clean items, hoping to instill some dignity to the homeless. The gently used items first go to the individuals and organizations, and then also donate to others establishments that help the homeless and those in shelters. Some of the organizations that we've reached out to are Salvation Army, Fire of God, Ottawa Mission, Shepherds of Good Hope, There's a drop-in center, 454, 507, women's shelters. There's a youth shelter, along with others. Some of the donations we receive would not go to the homeless, so then we would they'd be suitable for other organizations. So we do donate to a church in Vanier and Rockland that have a free store, and they help those in need, and everything in the store is free. Items donated can be like children's clothing, bedding, leather coats, because leather's not very warm in the streets. And so anything we receive that's not for the homeless, we donate it to these 2 free stores. Our first priority is to give to the homeless. So the volunteers at Earth Angel Outreach are the reason this charity is such a success. The volunteers have a high standard to ensure that the items are gently used, clean, repaired if necessary. And some have taken them home to be washed, sewn, or whatever needs to be done to it, a button sewn on or whatever. One organization we help support is SOS, and you can find them on Facebook. SOS, it's Steps Off the Street. I was very fortunate to meet him personally, and he goes out into the street once or twice a week, and they have 5 to 10 wagons, depending on the number of volunteers that week. They pass out food, clothing, and talk to the individuals about recovery. And as far as he's aware, anybody in Ottawa, there's nobody else really doing the recovery, talking about recovery in the streets. So he's told me of a couple of success stories that they've gone into detox, or they've taken people to Kingston for emergency detox. So they're quite active, kind of like unsung heroes, actually. So they pass out food, clothing. He told me as well, they go through anywhere from 45 to 90 hoodies a week, depending on, the location, how many people are there. So he's always in need of hoodies, men's pants, runners, socks. Also, he explained to us last week when he came to visit that by us sorting the donations, it saves him 2 to 2.5 hours in that he doesn't have to sort. So he comes here, picks up the items sorted, and then that saves him time that he can get his volunteers together, the wagons ready. And yes, so he's very pleased with that. As well as we are. Earth Angel is also contacting organizations in Cornwall and youth services and group. Again, thankful these organizations have volunteers that will come and pick up the donations. So about 2 weeks ago, I mentioned to my partner, we can't be delivering these donation items just because of the sheer volume. And like we could get anywhere from 40 to 50 bags. And and I said to him, we need drivers. We need people to come and pick up the items. So last Friday, Earth Angel Outreach had 4 pickups, and there was 3 long tables stacked extremely high to nothing by the time everybody picked up everything. So those went to homeless outreach, the Salvation Army, a woman's shelter, and the free store in Vanier. So it's actually very it's how do you say that? It's very heartwarming to see, the people, the volunteers, and for everybody to do one little piece of the puzzle, whether it's picking up and delivering. They don't mind doing that. And even some ladies, they said they'll be here to help, put a button on or sort, but they can't go downtown. So for me, it reminds me of a puzzle. Everybody's doing a piece of that puzzle just so for the collective good. So we're learning every day when it comes to sorting. Right now, we're learning that there's difference between spring and summer because the homeless don't have any storage. I was thinking about that. I was sorting some of our spring, summer clothes. Here we have closets, right? In the homeless, they don't have that. It's whatever they have on their backs. So again, we're keeping in mind, you know, that the homeless don't have storage, and it's whatever they can carry. So spring gear is really needed right now, like raincoats, sweaters, ponchos, runners, always socks, and always underwear. And one person said to me that they haven't given out underwear in 2 weeks. So when he showed up here last week and I gave him a huge bag of underwear, so he was just thrilled and very excited that he would be able to give out underwear. So now when we get into summer, then you know, again, the summer tops, summer pants, shorts, skirts, dresses, and we'll continue to learn as we go, because this is all new for all of us. So yeah, but good news, Earth Angel, I think I mentioned last week that Earth Angel is relocating. Well, we're relocating to our driveway. We had a pod delivered, a container delivered Monday. So it's 8 by 8 by 16. So now we must decide on how to maximize the space, keeping in mind the vertical space because it's 8 feet high. So some things, we've got people coming in on Friday to, you know, people that have sorted before. We've got all kinds of donations, wood. We got carpenters lined up for free. Everybody will help where we can. So they're going to stop by on Friday, the volunteers, and see what we can do to get that almost set up like a store. And in the future, we're looking for obviously like a warehouse or store kind of place. And that will fall into place. I understand that when it happens. Also, we have another 60 bags of donations coming in. My internal self gets overwhelmed, but I have faith and let it go. I just let it go into the universe. I know everything will work out exactly the way it is supposed to. Earth Angel Outreach is in the planning stage of an outreach event also downtown. So we'll offer tea and coffee and sweet treats. And we have some backpacks and some purses. So in the next couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, we're going to be doing that. So we've got a lot on our plate right now between the pod, designing that, sorting that, figuring that out, the Earth Angel going to an event downtown with other, it's a co-created event because we're inviting other groups. SOS, there's another guy, 11%. So he has street gear that he sells, along with a few individual. I call her a free agent. She's one of the ladies that goes out on her own and hands out clothing and stuff to homeless. So we have a lot of different events coming up and a lot going on. And let me just see. There's one place that we're looking into downtown. It has a green space in the back. So we could do some one-on-one and meet and greet and maybe have tea and coffee and some sweets for the street people. And the other thing is we received I don't know if you can see it. It's a Harley Davidson purse. So, and it's in mint condition. And I'm going to have a raffle for that as well, selling tickets on that to raise funds for the Earth Angel Outreach. One of our goals for Earth Angel Outreach for the summer is to purchase maybe water, or if it's not going to be water, Gatorade or G2 or something for them for their electrolytes. And I think right now the most things that are needed are hoodies, men's jeans, men's runners, socks and underwear, always bras. I think, and spring coats, or even like zip up coats sort of thing. So I'm not sure if there's any questions, but I'm not sure if I have any time left. It's 5:02. Okay. So if there's any questions, I'm not sure. Does anybody have any questions?
Sam has a pair of running shoes. I don't know whether he's planning on wearing them or giving them away, but I suspect release them to the universe.
Thanks, Sam. I know I've been meaning to get out to Sam, and it's one of those things, like I said, it's not a time management thing. It's, oh my goodness. Like if I could work 24 hours a day, but we have a lot of volunteers. So I know that there's Wendy as well. Her and I want to meet up, and she said that she would go to Orleans. So that would be a perfect opportunity to, multitask and drop in and see Sam and see Wendy at the same time. So actually, one of the things too that I would like to talk about is I've heard some rumors and people perspective on giving to the homeless, and I'm a little mixed feelings. I try not to judge, but there's some people that were saying that they don't give nice items to the homeless because they're afraid they're going to sell them for drugs. If they give them a brand new coat or you give them a new sneakers or runners, we remove all the tags from everything so they don't know if it's new or not. But I try to explain to people that if you gift somebody something, then that is gifted, and that we have to let that go. If you give somebody cash, even in the streets, if they use it for drugs, well, so be it. We cannot put restrictions on what we gift. And that's why when we gift items, we do it, with the intention of giving back dignity. And I use the example of, say we give out 100 coats and 90 of those people keep those coats and 10 people sell them for drugs or whatever, or they lose them. Like, there's all different reasons they could lose them. They could get beat up for those items. They could, fall asleep and somebody could take it from them. So I just, it kind of hurts my heart in a way that when people gift things that some people are saying, oh, well, it's for the homeless and could have rips and tears and yeah. Anyways, I hope I didn't offend anybody. If I did, I apologize in advance. So, but any questions?
Really, don't apologize for that. It's a good clarification for folks, so that if you're giving from heart, not
yes, unconditionally. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and just going back to the conversation we had earlier, Brenda Lee, about the socks, it could be mismatched socks because that's really in right now. There is one charity that I talked to you about. They were getting about 200 pairs of socks in a certain campaign. They all had to match and so on. But then somebody had the idea, let's just get any socks. Sometimes there's one with holes in it, you throw it away, you have one sock. They ended up getting 40,000 socks of mismatch in this one city. And I said, well, there's an idea. We got to think outside the box. And who cares? As long as it's warm, as long as it does the job, who cares what color they are? They're in shoes anyway,
Right. And we could say
I have a client coming in and I have one gray, one black socks.
Right.
I don't want to be normal,
Right. And we could say, oh, this is trendy. Like, this is trending now, mismatched socks, right? Yeah. And it is actually a lot of the young children, not children, but adolescents, 10, 20, 15, 20 years old, 25-year-olds. That's what they do. They don't fold their socks anymore. They just put two in it, grab two, and away they go.
I think we're at the top of the hour.
There you go.
Mastering the guests. The sound effects are kicking off. Which will swing me into the quote for the day. Maybe I should have a cuckoo going, it's the time. And so the quote of the day, if you only read the books that everyone else is reading, you can only think what everyone else is thinking. And that is the quote from Haruki Murakami.